push it away? It's going to pull it. Good. So where's the front of your boat? Where would your driver be? Right there. Very good.
Knight Elementary is successful because there is a primary focus on teaching and learning. That is what we're here for, and an emphasis on learning. So regardless of what students we have come through the doors, they will learn. And that's the belief that everyone in this building has, and that's the belief that we instill upon our parents as they're enrolling students at our school. That's our focus. So what are we going to do to make sure it happens? How are we going to assess and check? We're going to check to make sure that is happening. We're not waiting to the end of the year with an assessment to tell us we didn't do a good job. What are we doing along the way to assess how our students are responding to our instruction? Do we understand our curriculum? Do we understand how to assess it? And what type of instruction will we provide so that our students are successful at high levels?
What I want to see in the classroom is authentic learning. Authentic learning, not authentic teaching. I've done a lot of work with SACs over the years, lots and lots. And what I've learned from them as a principal, and when I was an assistant principal as well, is that we shouldn't be observing, looking at the behaviors of the teacher. And the temptation as a teacher is to, the world is a stage, and to get all ready to, I'm going to perform now. But what I've learned, in my experiences is that we have to look at the behaviors of the kids. So I expect kids to feel happy, to feel a part of the group, to be engaged passively or actively, but they're engaged. I need to see movement in the room. I need to see collaborative working, students either pairs or alone. Some students frankly do better if they have a private moment to read their book instead of reading with a group or to do their activity. But I need a variety of activities that meets the learning needs of the individual. And our teachers absolutely deliver. They deliver. When you get in those classrooms, you see individual instruction, group instruction, anything that child needs. You see lots and lots of creativity.
The reason why our test scores are high here at PATH is because we meet the students at their levels and what they need. A lot of our students come in grade levels behind, especially when they have language difficulties. But we are willing to do that hard work to get them to where they need to be. And we let them know, despite this issue, some may see it as an issue, that you have, we know that you can learn. We know that you can be successful. And I would not say that any of us teach to the test. What I teach to is my students' backgrounds and finding themselves in the curriculum, finding themselves in the standards, because when they see that, they're able to grab a connection to that.
Our academic courses are only honors and AP. That's a part of the high expectations. Is every child labeled, gifted, or honored? No. But if you set high expectations, what we have found, kids will rise to the occasion. They have no other options here. So review for the test, it's important. We want great scores, but just teach. And I tell my teachers, if you give 110% every day in the classroom, the results for the assessment, it'll work itself out.
Most of them need additional instructional support. A lot of my kids, they all come to the school significantly behind, almost all of them. And by the time they reach my class, they've caught up a little bit, but a lot are still low in reading and writing. And I think that what I personally do is try to come at it from their strengths. But there's such a focus in our country right now on deficits, because the goal is to make them do well on a test. So you address what they're bad at, you hammer them on what they're bad at. That's all they hear about all day. You have to improve this, you have to get better at this. And I don't think that helps. I think the research doesn't support that. And I think that my personal experience doesn't support that. So especially with the lower kids, I think it's really important to find out their interests, find out their skills, their talents, and go from that.
We triumph and we do it with honor. We are PATH Academy.
We use a lottery system, so we're not pulling out specific kids that we want to have here. And we actually work really hard as a school to not put any kind of scholar out for any type of reason. So if, for instance, there are behavior problems that one scholar is having in particular, we put in the supports that they need to be successful. We meet them where they're at. We're not just going to turn them away because they're having those problems either academically or with their behavior. So they might get things called a leadership tracker. And that's where they have goals for day to day and for every class, and we mark it off. And so they're looking at it day to day, and we're not expecting them to make this huge leap to something that they weren't when they first came here. As to the second part, focus on testing and test scores, I don't think that that's something that I'm necessarily doing in my classroom. I'm just looking at the standards, and like I said, I have an objective every single day that helps them meet that standard. And I'm just looking for that. Like, can you master the things that you're supposed to be mastering in 6th grade? And then obviously the goal would be if you're meeting those things and you're mastering the standards, then you do well on the test. So it's not really teaching to the test at all, it's just teaching to the standards.
What would I say to a critic who believes we just teach to the test? No, I believe we just teach. We just teach. The standards are before us. My teachers, they have them. We're a year-round school. They start teaching in July. Our kids do summer work. They just teach. We want our kids to be successful on the accountability measure, yes. But it's more to it. As I just stated, there's learning beyond the 4 walls. So we just teach.
One of the big ways that collaboration takes place at Kipsar Fulton Academy, each Wednesday there is a PD day for different disciplines in the building. We get together as a department, we discuss data, students' success level, our teaching strategies, whatever it takes for our students to be successful, that's what we do as a department.
I have a coach that comes in once, twice, 3 times a week to observe me teach and then gives me feedback that I can implement immediately. So since I've been here in August, I've probably grown more than I grew even my first 2 years teaching. So just the culture of wanting to be the best that you can be and then having that support system to help you reach that professional goal has been really special to me and really important to me here.
We can maybe start off by saying in passage 1 it says, or in passage 2 the author said. Can somebody give me something like that we could talk a little bit about, Sadika?
To be a teacher is my 17th year, and to kind of think back and see all the changes that come through education and the things that we do now that we didn't even think of to do in my first year. And so, you know, of course I wasn't trained for some of those things in college. And it can be very scary to have to maybe implement new initiatives and things and not know what to do. But at our school here, the administration does a good job of making sure that when these new things come along, that we're very well prepared in being trained on how to teach these things and how to implement them in the classroom.
The standards have changed, and they continue to change every year, you know, and they change according to what your children are doing in your classroom every year. We analyze standards very deeply. We don't, you know, discuss them just for the value of the written sentence. We delve deeper into the understanding of the standard and how the depth of knowledge that goes with that standard needs to be taught. It's no more, you know, can you identify A, B, or C? It's how would an author think about something? You know, it's going a lot deeper.
Insect, we'll write it down and draw a picture, right? Good job,
Providing teachers with feedback is essential with making sure that we are improving instruction in every classroom every day. So with our assistant principals and myself, it's 3 of us here that are part of the leadership team. That's our primary goal, our primary focus. And you have to have those relationships, and those relationships happen when it's a routine, there's regular observations and regular conversations to celebrate what we're seeing. And celebrations, we need to always take time for early wins. Be very intentional about celebrating so that when you have to have those fierce conversations or give that constructive feedback, but it's receptive because the relationships are there.
Professional development has always been very strong here at Knight. In the past, there have been those years long ago where, again, we were, it wasn't as, well, no, it was productive, but more, not as hands-on. Now it's more working together as a team. It's not just sitting and listening in a class. We work together as a grade level, and we put it into practice. We are not just given things, try this in your classroom. We work together to develop those things based on the principles that are presented to us. So it has been extremely beneficial this particular year. It's been a very special year with our administration, the way they have presented things to us in professional learning and giving us the opportunity to put it into practice in a way that we're comfortable with. It's not just a standard, try this. So, and every teacher's a little different in how they present things. So it's been very productive.
First and foremost, we engage teachers by being true to our vision and our mission. We present that to teachers. And if a teacher aligns with our vision and our mission, it makes the job that much easier. But what we do promise our teachers is that they will go on a path where they will not only be learning along with the scholars, but they'll get an opportunity to push those scholars to heights and to just new horizons that they never could have thought of. So where does that start? It starts with our open houses to our teachers, informing them of who we are, what we stand for as a school community and as a learning community. And then it continues by supporting, by coaching, by giving our teachers the tools that they need to be successful in their craft.
On a daily basis, I see scholars coming back telling me, Ms. Hull, I never knew history could be taught that way. Teaching at Kipsall Fulton Academy has given me a pathway to really see that my career is not just teaching, but it's reaching those scholars and having an impact on them that will last a lifetime. So that's what brings me back and has kept me here for 11 years, and I hope another 11 years.
I think I could say that Miss Story is my favorite teacher. She's very energetic and lively. She's very fun to be around. She's very fun to talk to. And I absolutely love the activities she has us do, such as our PBLs, or project-based learning experiments and projects. And she even sometimes makes taking quizzes fun. And she's just very fun to be around and is an absolutely, positively amazing teacher.
Demographics Do Not Equal Destiny Schools have principals, teachers, and support staff who share a common vision of good teaching and learning. Demographics Do Not Equal Destiny Schools personalize the academic experience to ensure all students are learning. Demographics Do Not Equal Destiny Schools care deeply about providing teachers with ample opportunities to meaningfully collaborate with other teachers. Demographics Do Not Equal Destiny Schools invest in creating ongoing coaching support and professional training to teachers linked to identified needs. These videos, both as a series or individually, are intended to offer guidance and support on best practices in leadership, parental engagement, teaching and learning, and school culture and climate. Educators, parents, and communities can use these resources as opportunities to understand what these schools do to help students succeed, regardless of demographics.